Hello and good afternoon. Happy Thursday. It's Thursday, y'all. Can you believe that? Yay! Anyway, I just a couple of things want to talk about. First of all, we have, and I'm going to write it right here, we have a sale going on today only. It's for the next 24 hours. I just put it in there, and it's 15% off everything in the store, everything, including supplements, including everything. And by the way, our supplements, you get free shipping for right now anyway. This is, while we can still do it. But I just wanted to let you know about that. So take advantage of that. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock at this time, Eastern, that sale will be gone. So I'm just trying to spread the joy, spread the love, and I appreciate all of your support. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Melissa. Yes, thank you. I mean, I'm not quite there on all the unpacking. I feel like it's almost there. And, get this, and you guys know this, if you've ever dealt with a mover, we're missing chair legs. So my chairs are sitting on the floor. And, of course, talking with movers, I think I'm just going to go ahead and order some chair legs on Amazon because it's just making me a little crazy. Can I just tell you that? So I hate that. So on Monday, by the way, on Monday we are having the book giveaway, and I told you it's for Saving Dinner, and I'm going to show you the evolution of the Saving Dinner book. Saving Dinner book, the first year it came out was in 2003. Can you believe that? So that's how many years? That's 16 years, folks. And I remember when I got the contract, I was working at KBRT in Orange County, and I had just gotten my first book contract, real book contract, because we were not going to talk about what happened before. There's Brenda. Hi. Eat Japanese style. Not quite. Anyway, so yes, it was quite a thing, and it was my radio show. It was Heart of a Woman, and I was on every single day. I just finished out with QVC, and I would never forget that because when we did QVC, it was not for my Saving Dinner book. It was for my Healthy Foods book. And Marla Silly, the fly lady, as you guys all well know. Hey, Brenda. Hey, Terry. Yeah, free shipping too. Free shipping. You get free shipping on everything, including my Take Back Your Life journal, which I'm going to talk to you about in a minute. But anyway, so I did this. I was on QVC, did Cookbook Corner. I was one of 21 cookbook authors, and nobody had anybody going crazy. I was the 21st one to go on, and I had to sit there in the green room watching everyone sweating, being really nervous. And Marla brought a whole bunch of people on. I remember this. We just started talking and said that we were going to work together. And she said, come on, everybody, watch Leanne on QVC. And so there I was with my Healthy Foods book. And the host was kept talking and cutting me off. And finally, I just took a forkful of food and said, try this, and put it in his mouth, and then was able to talk. And my numbers went crazy. And if anybody's been on QVC, it's quite quite an undertaking because there's a big clock in front of you letting you know how much time you have, how many books have sold, and they've got an earpiece in you, and they're talking at you constantly. And then you're supposed to be listening to the host and be doing all of this stuff. And of course, QVC is one of the biggest things I've ever seen in my life. I mean, just sound stage after sound stage after sound stage. It's a huge campus. And so I just decided I'm not going to be intimidated by this guy. And I said, well, you're from California too? Great. Here, spoonful. And it goes into your mouth. He shut up. My numbers shot up, and they invited me back 2 more times after that. So that's my big story on QVC, and it was really exciting. And I loved it and sold thousands of books, and it made everybody happy. So that's the long story on how QVC happened. Went into work at KBRT. And was there for a year and change before they canceled my show. And it happens. This is radio in the fast lane, and I honestly, what a blessing in disguise, because when all of that happened, this is when Marla and I put together our outline on the phone for Body Clutter. And yes, we are working on a new book, and yes, we have a lot of things going, and yes, you'll enjoy that. So that's pretty fun. I'm gonna sneeze. Why do I do this? Excuse me. That was just really, I should have muted myself or something. Sorry about that. Anyway, so book giveaway. Book giveaway. I am giving this book away on Monday. I will be here for all those people who are sharing my Facebook Lives. On Monday, I will be looking to see how many people have shared this. And the more you share, the more I have the opportunity to say you are a winner. I have 8 of these. Now, this is the original Saving Dinner book, okay, the original one. Then I came out with Saving Dinner, this one. So you want to see the difference in the covers? I don't know if anybody cares about this, but I think it's kind of cool. This one right here has the freezer menus in the back of it. So there's like a lot of freezer meals and stuff. And I've added those because I thought that was an important part of saving dinner. I mean, we save dinner however it is that we save dinner, and sometimes having a freezer meal backup situation keeps us out of the fast food lane or calling for pizza or whatever, because you always have something in the freezer. That's a good default, right? But CVS contracted us, my publisher, to do these mass paperbacks. This is a trade paperback. I'm giving you a little lesson in publishing. Trade paperback. This is a mass paperback. Now, what happens with mass paperbacks is they no longer want them because they're so cheap to make. They don't even return them to the publisher. You know what they do? They tear the cover off and throw them away. Isn't that wasteful? I think it's terrible. Anyway, anytime a publisher does a new version of your book, they send you 25, 50 copies, whatever it is that's in your contract. They sent me a bunch of these. So when I was moving, and this was from 2005, by the way, when I was moving and going through all those boxes, I discovered 8 of these. And so I thought, well, I don't need these. What am I going to use these for? But I bet somebody out there is going to want this book. This little book is still selling, is still doing well. We've sold over 500,000 copies. And I will tell you, it is a lifesaver, and it's the menus, recipes, and shopping list to bring your family back to the table. So you want this. I'm happy to give it to you. All you have to do is share this video. And on Monday, I will determine who that is, and I will send this book to you in the mail. So that's the exciting thing. And then if you look at my August 1st is the coupon code. 15% off for the next 24 hours on anything in the store. Anything. That includes any supplement, any ebook, anything. The only thing is you have to spend at least $27. Otherwise, it just doesn't make any sense. And especially if you want to get a Dinner Answer subscription, I can't really do that on a subscription. I can do it on a yearly subscription, however, because that's $97. You're still saving, how much money is that? $30? Yeah. So anyway, if you want that to take advantage of that, go to savingdinner.com. When you're checking out, write August 1st, August, AUGUST, and then first, FIRST. And it's all one word. A is the only thing capitalized, okay? August 1st. So do try that. That gives you an opportunity to try all my products. And I want to share something really exciting with you. Usually I've got a smoothie with me, right? I have no smoothie with me today because I'm still not hungry. So I'm able to push my window back. Now, yesterday, I woke up starving. So instead of saying, no, I'm doing this intermittent fasting or whatever, what I did was I said, okay, I'm gonna go with it. And I didn't want a smoothie. I wanted something to eat. I was hungry. So I had 2 eggs and 2 strips of bacon. That's what I had yesterday for breakfast. And then I didn't eat again until last night for dinner. And last night at dinner time, we had steaks and a big arugula salad. And I had a tiny baked potato, seriously, that big of a baked potato. Just wanted that. Slept like a baby and got up a half-pound lighter. I was very pleased with that. That is a type of intermittent fasting right there. It's just a bigger fasting window during the day when I'm awake. I didn't use my sleeping time as much. although I still had a 12-hour fast in between dinner the night before and breakfast the next day. So, that's how that works. Right now, it is 1:15 in 1:14, I guess, here in the East Coast, and I'm fine. So listening to your body, we have an inner guru. We do. We have our own nutritional guru. When we listen to her, we're going to do better. This is how we go into the place of being mindful about our lives, mindful about how it is that we're eating, and mindful about everything else. Because here's the thing that happens if you don't do that. If you don't do that and you are a slave to what everybody else is telling you to do, you're never going to get to the place where you're like nailing your own health, nailing your own weight loss journey, nailing your own way that you should be eating. There's nothing wrong with getting an education. I do it all the time. But there's also something wrong with being stuck and waiting for the next guru to tell you what to do. Okay? I am not your guru. And I borrowed that from Tony Robbins. But I'm not your guru. Either is anybody else. You're your own expert. But let me just say something, that one thing that we know that just does not change whatsoever for anyone is that you're always 100% going to be in the place of needing to eat foods that your body can identify. It's that simple. It's like if you are eating food that's filled with stuff on a label that you cannot pronounce, you don't know what it is, you cannot identify, then it's like speaking French to somebody who's never heard the French language. That's how it is. Your body receives what it understands and knows. It's that simple. Your body is just, it needs to get food. It needs to get substances that translate into nutrients that go into your body that do the work that needs to get done. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. And the longer we do this, the more we prolong this, the more junk that we're eating and all of that. It's funny because people say, well, I've just got all these skin issues. I've got all these things going on, and it's trying to heal the superficial without taking care of what's deep inside. And we need that good, deep nutrition. The food that goes inside of us is what makes our bodies operate. And it starts at the cell. It starts at the mitochondrial level. Though those little mitochondria, they're like the energy parts of your cell. When we are giving the mitochondria what it needs, then everything else is getting what it needs. It works from tiny, granular, molecular mitochondria all the way out. So if your skin is a mess, your body's telling you something's wrong. When I had rosacea, I had mighty, horrible, awful rosacea, crusty, horrible rosacea. It was all over my face. I was full of inflammation. I also had plantar fasciitis. I had all kinds of things going on, and nodules in my neck. It was all part of the Hashimoto's equation, but it's all gone now. And you can do that for yourself as well. I found that when you go to a doctor and the doctor is telling you, this is what you need to do. I found this out the hard way. This is in July of 2015. So, we're talking 4 years ago. I had some kind of a tailbone injury, and I could not feel my legs from my navel down. It was terrible. And it scared me. And I kept thinking, what is going on? I couldn't feel my feet. I couldn't feel my leg, the top of my legs, the bottom of my leg. I had like a tingly feeling in my butt. That was it. And I thought, what is going on here? And I also had a weird urge to pee all the time. Well, there is a word for it, word for something that they were really worried about, and they took me into the emergency room when I went to the doctor finally, and said, well, we don't know what's going on. They did an MRI to make sure that I didn't have this. I can't remember what the exact thing was, but it was something that could make you paralyzed, and I was scared to death. But you know what happened? It wasn't that. And then they sent me to a neurologist. They sent me to a urologist. They sent me to all these specialists. I did all these tests, paid all this money out of pocket, and nobody figured it out. They wanted to send me to a psychiatrist next. or a psychologist, something like that. But, you know, I was looking at it and going, yeah, the medical system is broken. We have to be our own advocates out there. We need to, I finally just said, this is ridiculous. You're taking all of my time, putting me through all of these doctors. And I'll tell you what, I'm sure I'm getting better. I did lots of stretches. I went and saw the acupuncturist, and I had so many needles in my back, it wasn't even funny. I was doing essential oils, I was meditating and everything. It finally went away. And the only thing that I could figure out was that Mark and I had gone sailing, and we were tacking back and forth, and we were in this teeny tiny little sailboat going across a lake, and it was like going back and forth, and I was slamming, you know, my tailbone back and forth across, you know, to this on this little boat. And when I remember when I got out, I was thinking, man, that hurt. But, you know, I think there was some kind of injury, because a couple of days later, I was just like, man, this is just really, really bad. And I was really glad to get home after that trip. And after, you know, a week, that's when I went and went to the doctor and did all of that. And I will tell you that I'm not saying don't go to doctors, don't make doctor's appointments, don't see specialists. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying be aware that if you're your own advocate, if you are the one who is looking at your body and saying something isn't right, you will never, ever, ever settle for someone saying it's all in your head. Don't ever settle for that. I've had people tell me that when they were dealing with Hashimoto's. That's so wrong. Hashimoto's is never in their head, and they don't even still do all the testing that they need to do. And you have to know, when you go to the doctor, you have to be, you know, go to Dr. Google and just Google around. And doctors hate it when you do that. But find a doctor that doesn't mind that you are being your own advocate. Don't go in there arrogantly and say, hey, this is what's wrong with me. What's wrong with you? Why haven't you diagnosed me yet? But just say, hey, I've been doing some research and this is what I found. So when I go to a doctor and I'm trying to get my way, I'll have a stack of stuff like this. I will have highlighted stuff. I will not print out an article ever for a doctor. However, if I find a good article, I'll track down what the research is. I'll go to that research article. I will read the abstract, and if it makes sense, and I go to the conclusion, then I'll take the time to go all the way through and read that. Does it make sense? Is this something that my doctor needs to be aware of? Because honestly, and I've heard this from all kinds of docs who I know personally as friends, MDs, DOs, NDs, all of them, they've all said the same thing. We don't have the time to look at all the newest research. We don't. So when a patient comes to me, has the research and says, hey, this is the latest thing. What do you think of this? They're going to appreciate you going through that trouble. And when I was living in Charlotte, I had a physician's assistant that I saw, and he loved it when I came in. He said, what do you have for me today? Because he'd say, I never knew this. Like, for example, low-dose naltrexone is something that works really well with inflammation and with antibodies for if you have your antibodies out of control for some kind of an autoimmune disorder. For me, it was Hashimoto's. My antibodies, were in the thousands, and they shouldn't be nothing. So I didn't know what to do. I was doing all the things, and one of the things that I added for a season was low-dose naltrexone. Now, regular naltrexone is something that they use on heroin addicts. They use it on heroin addicts to help them come down. When it's in a low dose, however, it's the same drug diluted out, it works to combat antibodies. So it's sort of like Wonder Woman with the bracelets. Chi, chi, chi. So that's how I used to think of it when I took my low-dose naltrexone at night. I think about that, like, go ahead, go fight that fight. And, I was right there in it with that low-dose naltrexone, taking out those antibodies. And now I have normal antibodies. So that helped. It helped for a period of time. We tested, of course, and that was an eye-opener for me. But I just wanted to share that with you because, I think that a lot of times we have this idea that, we have to do it on our own, or we have to just listen to exactly what the doctor says or whatever. But there's a really good thing that happens when it is a doctor patient relationship and there is mutual respect. So just remember, MD does not stand for medical deity. It does not. It stands for medical doctor. And they are human beings. They have only so much time. And if you see how busy they are, how little time they spend with each other, and yeah, we have, a lot going on with it, but if we can just be a part of our own treatment and find doctors who are going to listen, things change. And I say that because I've experienced it myself. Let's see. Whoa, pollen on the East Coast. Who has pollen on the East Coast? Joanne always freezes a meal. And she's got the low carb version. Yay. And there's Tracy. Good to see Tracy. Freezer meals are great. I'll tell you, I love a good freezer meal. It makes a big difference. Now, one of the books that I have always, that I've been using to understand better about fasting is Jason Fung's. He's a doctor, a nephrologist. I've explained that to you before, in Canada, and he's an MD. And he has, his whole theory is that the key to getting rid of obesity is the key to understanding your insulin and how insulin drives everything. Having insulin under control is getting obesity under control. And there's some compelling new information, by the way, on CBD. So if you want to see my CBD webinar that I did with Will, who is an absolute knowledge, wisdom guru on this stuff, go to savingdinner.com/CBD and you can watch the webinar. He's got a great deal for us. And, I have to tell you, this is HIT. This is what I take. It is, there it is. Right there. High Energetics, and it's the full spectrum hemp elixir. The stuff is thebomb.com, and the way they do it is right on the money. Not all CBD is created equal. That's always the way it is, right? Let's see. What does this do? A 90s blossom cover? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. So Terry said that it's nice to hear there's flexibility in intermittent fasting. I'm at 15 and 9. Yeah, that looks like about where I'm going. I'm starting to get just a little bit hungry. I'll probably have a little bit of something, or I'll see if I can last. Marla's coming over tonight for dinner, and I've got a spatchcock chicken going on. Spatchcock. And if you don't know what that is, maybe I'll show it to you later on. Maybe I'll just do a little thing on that. But we're going to grill it. And the way that you do that is you put it on this whole chicken that's opened up. The spatchcock, you just basically cut out the backbone, save that for bone broth for later, and marinate it, right? And then you grill it and get it nice and marked up and move it around as much as you can. And you move it on to the cool side of the grill and just use your grill as an oven. Just keep the thing shut and use it as an oven. And it's so good. It makes me happy. So book goes out Monday. Tomorrow is Q&A day. So if you haven't sent your questions in, go to support@savingdinner.com and send them in via email. Jenny's sending them all over to me, and I've already got a couple of really good ones, and we're going to go over all of that tomorrow. Support, I'm just going to write it in here because that's how I am. Support, with only 2 P's, not 3 like I just did, at savingdinner.com. That's where it is. And don't forget, August 1st is your code. Now, that lasts for 24 hours. Tomorrow at this time, it'll be gone. 15% off anything in the store as long as you spend $27 or more, and you will get it. You'll get it done. And I'm going to show you a couple of things. First of all, look, Just Juice Veggies, Perfect Paleo Protein, Fiber Mender 3.0, L-glutamine. Whoops. I don't know how to do that. There it is. Ta-da. L-glutamine to heal your gut. I use all 4 of these in my smoothie. You can get all 4 of those for 15% off. It's substantial savings, free shipping. Also, speaking of free shipping, if you've wanted Take Back Your Life, this is a journal for women who are desiring real change. And it's my way of doing things after reading lots of books, after doing all kinds of things wrong. And it just makes goal setting so much more palatable. Okay, you can get this as well. And today's August 1st. Why not start out this next part? We have 5 months left for this year. Why not finish this year off right? And let's do it 90 days at a time. And what this does, and I'll show you a little bit about this. I'm going to do it on a day that I don't have anything written in. I'm going to show you how this is done. You have a morning and an evening ritual, right? So you start with gratitude. I believe that gratitude is the seed for changing everything in your life. Gratitude changes your life. Gratitude gives you joy in your heart. Gratitude switches up the whining and makes you into somebody who's thankful for everything that comes into your life. I mean, obviously, nobody's going to be thankful if you have a dog with fleas, but you're thankful for the dog, right? You just need to get rid of the fleas, so you don't want to be complaining about it. And I'm just, using that as a bad example. But gratitude is the bedrock and the foundation of everything that we want in our lives, right? Everything that we want in our lives. And when we can be thankful for what we have, that opens things up for more to come our way. Because, it's God knows, the universe knows that, oh, if I give this woman an apple, she's going to be so thankful for it. I'm going to give her a whole bushel. I'm going to give her more. And that's what happens. It's just when you're thankful, you opening yourself up for more. And, and that doesn't, I'm not talking about opening up your wallet or whatever, but more of the good stuff that you want in your life. And then from here, I have appointments for the day just so I can have a good look at what I've got going on. And then here I put down intentions. My intentions are based on the goals that I have set previously. And I make goals in different areas of my life. So professionally, what I'm trying to do physically, and what I'm trying to do spiritually and emotionally, and all of that, and educate myself. So I give myself 3 goals in each, and then I break them down with intention on how it's going to work out for that day. So if one of my goals, for example, is I want to be a better reader, or I want to improve on something, and I always have a stack of books that I'm reading, I'll say, okay, I'm going to read a couple of chapters a day. So I want to get through more books. So I will write down my intentions for today. I am reading the Obesity Code and getting so much out of it and understanding better, or whatever it is. But that, that's one of the things that I'm doing, is reading these books. So I put it in an intentional way. And Wayne Dyer was really good. He was talking about how intentions really set the tone for how it is that you do anything. And you can go to Saving Dinner if you want, dinner.com/Take Back Your Life Journal. I think that's it, TBYL. Just try that. I think it will redirect you to the journal. But there's I have a 30-minute little webinar that teaches you how to go through and use this journal so that it can change your life. One of the things that I have always had a problem with personally is when I get I get cluttered up with yearly goals. They're overwhelming. It's too much. You know how Fly Lady breaks things down into zones? You know how Fly Lady takes it and just say, you just start where you are, and there's no such thing as catching up. She was talking about that today. I thought that was so great. There is no such thing as catching up. You can't do January 1st over again. But August 1st is here, and you can start today, because if you decide you want to get this hardback, which is really cool, you'll also get the PDF so you can download it and get started on it. It breaks it down, and then you have a place to write notes right there. Do you see that? The journal notes part. So you can write yourself a note like, today's gone well, or I need to do something here, or here's some notes from things that I've observed. I get hungry and I'm instead of waiting, I'm doing something else. Whatever it is that you need to write down, you just a note right off the top of your head. And then there's a place called Path Correction, New Lessons, and Do Better. And that's not to beat yourself up. That's to find your way again. And just say, I was supposed to work out, and instead of working out, I found an excuse not to go. So how I'm going to course correct, I'm going to have my workout bag in the car and be ready to go beforehand, before the class starts or before whatever it is. And that's how you course correct. And I love that, because if you look at this and go through it and, I use a pencil. I just like to use a pencil so I can erase things and start over with something. But it keeps me on track, and it keeps you going toward the thing that you want. And we can do anything, and we can create anything that we want in 90 days. If you think about 90 days from now, what, August, September, October. So think about this, August, September, and at the end of October, you could be saying, you know what, I got that done. I lost 15 pounds. I created my fitness goal, and I followed through on it, and I course corrected along the way, because nobody's perfect, but I did it. So if you want that, I'm just telling you, this is, today would be a great day to go get it. Oh, look how I did that. No, that was not a good idea. So I think it's store.savingdinner.com/TBYL. Try that. Not very good. Joanne says, yes, you have to break it down. And she does a great gratitude journal every morning. Brenda, first day as a non-smoker. You go, girl. Now, for you, and I think for anybody, first of all, please take advantage of today. Go get yourself some L-glutamine. Put it in a little bowl, dip your mouth. Every time you feel like I need to light up, I need a cigarette, this stuff works. Remember, I told you this, a psychiatrist told me about it, and she said it breaks any addiction. It's ridiculous. The stuff is amazing. It's just an amino acid, but it just has a way of triggering your physiology. Yay! We like that. So let's see, what am I missing? Today is Thursday, and don't forget that we have the 15% off code. Don't forget to share this. If you want to win this book, which you will find out on Monday, you need to be sharing our Facebook Live videos. That's simple. Just share them. Share away. And I'll tell you who wins this book on Monday. Take Back Your Life. This is a great journal to get you started. If you've ever had a problem and you've been like me and you've had stacks of journals that just didn't get used, or goal planning this or that. I mean, there's only like 8% of the population creates goals. What do you want in your life? You don't want to just let it, flit by. You want to have something that's meaningful. You want to have a life that you're proud of. You want to leave a legacy. That's what it's all about for me right now. I keep thinking, what is my legacy going to be? Is it going to be a messy desk? Because right now you should see it. It's pretty messy. Or, is it going to be something that's lasting and wonderful, and that's going to be something that makes a mark on people's lives? That's what I want. I want my children to think back and think about everything that I've done. So anyway, Lisa, it's your birthday, 55, double nickels, 55 young. Happy birthday to Lisa. There we go. Well, Brenda said she hopes to order some, but won't have money till tomorrow. Well, as long as it's before 1 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern, you'll be good to go, because the coupon code lasts until then. Don't forget, August 1st is the coupon code. I don't know if it's case sensitive or not, but August is a capital A. Everything else is all together, and you write out first. That's it, August 1st. So we're celebrating August 1st. We're making things happen. We're giving away a book on Monday. Tomorrow is Q&A. So if you have a nutrition question, if you have a question about any of my books or any of my supplements, if you have a question, a cooking question, I'm happy to help. Oh, and here is my sign for NutriCoach. This is how you can find me. If you go to leanneely.as.me, you can get an appointment to talk to me about NutriCoach. You know, it's the coolest thing. Creating a career that you love, that's all based on your passions, and that is from somebody who did this herself. And I can show you the way without, having you fall down, and give you the support along the way and coach you to make it happen for you. I'm doing that right now with a handful of women that I'm so excited about, because they are about to take the world by storm. It's the biggest thing right now. Everybody wants to eat at home. They're sick of eating out, and I don't blame them. So you've got all these executives who, they're happy to pay you. They're happy to give you a good, a good fee. So, and I'll show you how to get the most that you can for what you're doing, and working, probably a whole lot less than you are, and making six figures. I'll show you how to do it. I did it. You can do it too. So if you're interested in that, don't forget, this is how you find me. This is how you make the appointment. All right. Tomorrow, I will be back with our Q&A. If you have a question, support@savingdinner.com, and I'll answer all your questions. If you have, what is that? Is that to sell your products? I don't know what that means, Brenda. Lisa says, thank you. Yay. Yay, yay, yay. No, that the appointment thing is talk to me about NutriCoach. I started this back in December. It is my life's work right there. Everything that I have ever done with Saving Dinner, and previous to that, all of my life's experience that have put me to a place like this, I have put together into a curriculum and teach you without having to spend 20 years doing it. Teach you how to do it. So NutriCoachSchool.com, that's where you'll find out all about it, and I'll show you the whole 12 modules of what it is that I've done. And I'm proud of it, super proud of it. And I'm proud of the women who are going out and creating their own careers. Because this is something, who wants to be stuck doing a job they don't want to do? Who wants to be commuting to a horrible job and just doing it because you need the insurance, or doing it because you don't have anything else, or you're scared? I want to take people out of that scared mode and put them into the empowered mode, and teach you how to have your own career on your own terms. I did it. You can do it. I did it as a single mom, for heaven's sakes. I did it as a single scared mom, and I did it anyway. I did it even though I was so scared. I was almost paralyzed. I could hardly move, but I was determined to do life on my terms, and that included my career. I remember when I was 19 years old, and I was 18. It was in between my senior year in high school. It was after I just graduated, and in between, before going to college. And I remember driving in my car. I had to drive and go to a doctor's appointment, and it was 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I just remember being in the car and thinking, wow, there's no traffic, there's no anything, there's just people driving in cars going wherever. And I thought to myself at the time, I just remember this, it imprinted on me, this is the kind of freedom I want. Because at that time I was literally tick, tick, punching a clock. I thought, I don't want to do that. And so I figured out how to not do that. I mean, I had several jobs before that, but that just stayed with me. That was in the back of my mind. And I knew, I've always known, I will have a business on my own terms. And I do. And now I want to help you do the same thing and create that. So it's NutriCoachSchool.com if you want to check it out. And tomorrow I'll be back for Q&A. So be here so that we can do that. Support@savingdinner.com if you want to send in a question. I appreciate you. Thanks for showing up today. Okay, maybe I'll show. There it is.